Greetings, everyone. I am Dana Michelle Woods, and I'm so excited that you're here for today's webinar, The 5 Skills Women Need in Order to Return Back to Work Successfully. And let me say, anyone can use these 5 skills. And I want you to know that there is a workbook that comes with this webinar. Click on the link below to access the workbook for yourself. Well, the 5 skills women need to return back to work successfully. We want you to be successful when you return back to work. Before we get into the content of today's webinar, I want to tell you about myself. Well, I am a speaker, I am an author, I am an educator, and I am an entrepreneur, and I passionately love teaching people, and it's my joy to do this. And so I know that you're going to find today's information very useful for you to be able to successfully navigate back to the workplace. I want you to know that you don't have to fear as if you're walking into some, forbidden place. No, you're walking into the new era of business. And so do not be afraid. Don't be, scared. I want you to be informed, and I want you to have the tools you need that you can be successful. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. So today's objective of the webinar, it's going to be in 3 parts, and we're going to talk about the review of the pre-COVID-19 workplace, and then we're going to learn what to expect from the new workplace, and then we're going to learn how to apply the 5 skills, or call them the essential skills for the workplace success. Okay. So I want to put this moment of insight into your hearing. Listen, the workplace prior to COVID-19, guess what? It was toxic. People hated going to work, and they hated the conditions of the workplace. Not everyone, but most people did. And so now the workplace is a regulation maze. That means that in most cases, the state that business resides in is giving some mandates that the business has to adhere to. And some companies are doing it and some companies are not. But here's the thing, can anyone be successful now? And I want you to think about that. And I believe you apply these essential skills, you can be successful. The pre-COVID-19 workplace. So the pre-COVID-19 workplace was designed in a way where people didn't practice social distancing. So you went to get coffee, people would gather around. There really wasn't any distance requirement. You got coffee, you would go into the break room, go get some water. You would see people in the, corridors. You see people at their cubicles talking to other people. So there was no restrictions on, terms of social distancing. I always say stay arm's length when you're talking to people. That's just one of the things that I teach to my students. And so now when we look at, not now, but before we get into the new COVID-19 workplace conditions, just want you to think about that. Think about the workplace that you left 2 years ago. And maybe for some women, they haven't returned back to the workplace, maybe 5-10 years. It has nothing to do with COVID-19. They just may have taken time off for whatever personal reasons they may have had. And now they're wanting to re-enter into the workplace, and things has drastically changed. And so I want you to remember, I don't want you to think that COVID-19, though it disrupted businesses around the world, the workplace was already on its last leg. I can say it that way. The workplace was already struggling. The workplace was a place where people didn't even want to come. They would not give it 100% of their productivity. I just want to get in, get the job done, and leave. If I can do the bare minimum, that's what I'm going to do, because this company doesn't appreciate me. And we're going to go through some numbers later on in the webinar that you're going to be like astonished. I promise you are. And so I wanted you to just think about the pre-work place, or the pre-COVID-19 workplace. As you can see here, let me go back. As you can see, people were close. People did work together. Notice that they're not wearing any masks. Remember I said this is pre-COVID-19. They're not practicing social distancing at all. And so when we get into now, when we look at what's taking place, we will discover that the We will discover there's been some changes, but I want to give you some numbers before we get there. 79% of the people who quit their job cite a lack of appreciation for leaving a job. Now, this study was done pre-COVID-19. So that's why I want to back up what I said, that the workplace is already on its hinge. It's already on its last leg. And that's greater than 50%. That's almost like 80%. Think of 100. And think of 80% of 100. That's significant. That only leaves 20% of people that was satisfied. But here it says 79% of people who quit their job cite a lack of appreciation for leaving a job. And I believe I did a video saying your job cannot give you job satisfaction. Let me say that again. Let me talk to you a little bit before we get into the meat and potatoes of everything. And your job is not there to make you happy. Your job is not even there to offer you financial stability. That's not your job's responsibility. Your job is to provide a safe place for you to work, give you the tools that you need to get your job done, like a computer, maybe you need a phone, you need a desk, you need a chair, the essentials that you need to provide some leadership guidance in case you need to understand something, you need to work out a problem, or you need to present a solution and so forth. But your job is never meant to bring you happiness. Let me say that. It's not. You bring your own happiness into the job. You build up ways that you will have financial stability outside of the job. The job is just one thing that you do that brings an income in, but it's not your source of all of your wealth. I just want to kind of put that. I know it's kind of different than what you expected from a webinar, but I believe people have unrealistic expectations from the company. What the company should provide, they should provide you with a salary, and you should be providing them what? With the work. That's the exchange that should take place. But if you're looking for it to give you a sense of security, it should give you happiness, the job is not designed for that. And I want you to be successful as you enter the workplace. And I believe if you reset your expectations, that will help you to thrive in the new era of business. Okay, so let's get back. So here's another study I want you to see, and it says here that 70% of employees are actively disengaged. 70% of employees are actively disengaged. That's a lot of people who are not connecting on their job. 70%. So when I tell you that before COVID-19, companies are already struggling inside of the organization. So if you already have a problem where it's about to explode, can you imagine a disruption such as COVID-19? COVID-19 did not bring us together. It amplified our fears. It made us feel like, oh my God, what is going to happen? It only intensified our anxiety. So here's one more study I want you to see here. And it is 45% of professionals fear their company does not promote a healthy work-life balance. Wow. Is that not a number there? That is huge. 45%. 45%? Wow. And should a company provide a healthy work-life balance? Or is it something that you should provide for yourself? We'll talk about that a little bit later, okay? And so let's going to go there. I want you to see that. Again, this is pre-COVID-19. This is pre-COVID-19. The new workplace. Now, as you can see here, the new workplace requires people to have masks on in some cases. And so that may be something that you're not used to wearing, and that is wearing a mask throughout the entire day. And so some people are exempt from wearing masks, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just letting you know that before COVID-19, you didn't have to practice social distancing. You had to respect people's personal space. And that's why I always teach be arm's length when you're engaging with people. But before, so now we're in a COVID-19 era. And guess what? Some companies are required to implement, part of their safety protocol is to implement social distancing. There's some states require 3 feet, some require 6 feet, and so forth, but it varies by the state. And some companies are doing a phenomenal job, and some companies are like, I'm all about the business, the money, and our clients. I'm not worrying about our employees. That's a poor attitude to have, and hopefully that's not your company. And so you may find that when you return back into the workplace, that people are wearing masks, security, reception, the cleaning staff, the people in the break room, and so forth. That's new. That's another situation that you have to deal with. But I want you to be aware that now you used to wear masks to go to the store and come back, and when you get in your car, you take it off immediately. Well, just imagine working all day with a mask on. And even some places that even if you're in a meeting and you're talking, they still want you to keep the mask on. The only time you can take the mask off is if you're eating or if you're drinking. Other than that, it must stay on all day. Imagine that you have to come into the workplace and you have to sanitize. You have to get your temperature taken. It's a new workplace. And so I want you to know what you're getting into when you enter into the workplace. Many companies will be starting back up to call all their employees back into the workplace. And so that means that if you're a person that always got there do at 9 o'clock and you get there at 8:55, well, you may have to get there, be required to get there 30 minutes early. How will that impact you, especially if you're a person that has to drop off your kids? So there's so many different things that are going to be taking place when you enter the workplace that you need to be prepared for. A lot of companies are doing an onboarding, a video, so that they're telling you, okay, they're giving you a tour of what you can expect when you come in. If your company does not have a video, I encourage you to tell them, create a video so that people are not bottlenecked when they come through the door. They're not like, what is this? We got to take a temperature. We're not in the doctor's office. No, that's required. We want to keep everybody safe. What happens if someone comes to work with COVID-19 or a variant of COVID-19? Do we get quarantined? All of those safety measures must be discussed before employees enter or come back to work. Do we shut down? What is it? Does everybody have to be vaccinated? So those are things that you're going to find in this new workplace that you didn't have to deal with before. I want to give you some more insight into what you're going to expect when you go into the new workplace. And I said this earlier, wearing a mask may be required. Work locations, so you may have to change your locations in terms of your work. And that means that one of the things that may be is that they may reconstruct or redesign your office space so that you're not in the same vicinity as the other people that you were before. So embrace that. That's a major change. Some people see their workstation, this is my workstation. Well, it may not be your workstation, or it may not be in the condition that you're used to seeing. Getting vaccinated or not may cost you your job. Enforcement of safety protocols. So there's always a safety protocol in most companies, best practices, and so forth based on OSHA standards, but there may be additional standards that you may have to adhere to. And then the big one is social distancing. You may not be able to eat lunch with the people you used to eat lunch with because they spaced out the lunchroom so that only a few people can be in there. And then there may be a new workflow and a new team engagement. The new team engagement can be that we all used to get together for a morning group session. It might be just a few people. We may have to do 3 sessions or 2 sessions, depending on how big the team is, for everyone to get the information, but they may not get the information at the same time. That's the new workplace that you're going to be coming into. So the 5 essential skills for workplace success. Here's the first one, open mind, a willingness to listen or accept different ideas or opinions. And that is going to be crucial. You're going to have to operate with an open mindset. Oh my goodness, it's so important. You can't go in there with this is how we used to do it. Why are we making all of these changes? This doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you, companies are already, that's about companies, about leadership. Leadership is already dealing with so much on their plate. And the last thing they need to hear is you come in the door, coming back to work, and you're complaining and you are just bucking the system. I like that you're using your voice, but you're using your voice in the wrong manner. And so this is new for everyone. That's why you have to have, first skill, an open mind. You have to have that willingness to be able to learn from everyone else, see it from different perspectives. You can't be a creature of habit because things are going to be happening, always changing on a rapid basis. And so if you're comfortable being a creature of habit, you're going to find that you're going to learn to get disrupted really quick. And that you may not be comfortable with change. And some people are not comfortable with changes. They like things to stay where they are. We get paid every Friday, don't change it. Now we're going to go to bi-weekly. How dare you? No, this is the new era of business. And the new era of business has to deal with COVID-19, that whole virus and all of the variants that come with it, and having to be regulated through government agencies in a private business and a publicly traded business where the government is telling you what you need to do inside from a safety protocol. And though it's inconvenient, it will save your life. That's why they're putting these safety protocols in place. So you have to have an open mind. And that is so key. And I believe that you can do it. You can do it. So here's the exercise I want you to think about. Look for ways to support a co-worker's idea in your next meeting. When we talked about having an open mind, I wanted you to do this exercise. And we're talking about having an openness to listen and to be able to hear other people's ideas. That's not really a new idea. Well, in today's era, everybody's voice matters, and you have to learn that even if you don't agree, just go the extra step to make sure that when you're in these meetings and people have their mask on and it's already difficult to hear them, that you have an open mind to what they're sharing. Even if you don't agree, have an open mind to listen to what they're saying. And so I want you to be able to find a way to support a co-worker's idea in the next meeting. And that also means that even if it's not, here's the point, support even if it's not your idea. You have an idea, but your coworker's idea is best for the company. I want to get into your hearing. We want to do things that is best for the company. You came to the company to provide your assets, to provide your experience. That's why you're there, right? Look at the company as a building. And you're going in that building to make a difference. And so we cannot let the COVID-19 and the variants disrupt how we do business or why we do business. And so one of the keys that I want you to keep in mind is an open mind. And so be supportive. People are already on pins and needles, and your support can go a long way. And if you don't believe in what that person is saying, then don't support it. Just hold your mouth. Find someone else in the room that you do believe their idea is best for the company. I just want us to take our level of commitment to the company to a whole nother level, okay? That's the one thing I want you to take away from this webinar today. And then we'll talk about skill number 2. Skill number 2, let me let you see my screen. Skill number 2 talks about adaptability, the quality of being able to adjust to new conditions. You have to learn how to have adaptability in this new era of business. And I'm stressing the new era of business. We're never going to go back to how things were before. It's never going to happen. Even when the CDC finally says we don't have to wear a mask mask any longer. Because of that disruption that COVID-19 did to the business, people are like, okay, it made us aware of some areas that we needed to work on, some areas that we will really have a threat in, and we don't want to be in that predicament again. And so that's why I say that adaptability, it's a new era. It's a new way we do things. And so you have to be a person that can come into the workplace every day and be willing, if they make a call and do something different, you have to be able to adapt to whatever the company is asking you to do. You have to have adaptability. Doing things the way you do things, that's gone. You have to do things that's in the best interest of the company. And so adaptability, new conditions. The new condition could be that, your team is spread over different departments. They're moving people in different places. They redesign where your team is going to be sitting. And so you can't come like, where's the team? Where's the team? And I can't believe the team is, so spread out. This doesn't make any sense. I can't believe this. So here's what I'm saying to you. Adaptability is going to help you to deal with changes, whether you like the change or you don't like the change. And let me give you this one critical nugget. If you don't like the change, keep it to yourself. If you cannot work with the change, then make the change to either move within a different department, or that company may not be the best company for you. That's what I want you to be able to know. And so that's going to be crucially important for you. And you're going to find that the company that you love, that you love working there, now with all of these new changes, it's not for you. You have to make that decision for yourself. Because the company is going to do what's best for the company. It's not about just pleasing one or two groups. It has to be in the best interest for overall everyone. Okay, so adaptability is something that I want you to be able to include in your skills that you're going to practice in this new era of business. And then the next skill exercise. We got the exercise. Exercise. Invite a potential strategic partner from work to lunch. Look to get to know the person before you start to ask for anything. Be intentional to have a quality conversation, which can lead to a win-win connection. And that's going to be important. Remember, you're at the office and you have some valuable ideas. Remember I said that many people gave that percentage where they felt as though 70% felt like the company did not appreciate them. Well, guess what? This is your way to show how you can be an asset to the organization, to the company. So you want to be able to I want you to be successful. So this is not about how to be successful with COVID-19. No. We're talking about the 5 skills that you need to be successful when you return back to work. I didn't say COVID-19. So, the conditions have changed because of COVID-19. But these are 5 skills that I want you to have that you can be successful in the workplace. And if you have been a person where you kept to yourself, the only time you really connected with people was at the lunchtime. Listen, I want you to go deeper than that. I want you to take your mind somewhere else. And I want you to be able to say, I want to create strategic partners within the company. And so I'm willing to invest in them and say, I'm going to invite them to lunch and tell them what's in it for you. Tell them why. Why do you want to invite me to lunch? I want to be able to connect with people within the company that I can learn the business better. I can learn how the company makes decisions. And also I have some ideas that I would love to be able to share. So you're telling that what's in it for you. And then you want to be able to say, and I believe tell why you picked that person. Tell them, why did you come to me as opposed to going to the person over here? You should have done your research on that strategic partner so that you can be able to answer the question, why me? Why not her? Why not him? But why me? And women, don't just look for other women to be your strategic partner. It's okay to have men as your strategic partners. It absolutely is. Absolutely. The worst thing you can tell a woman is the reason I picked you because you were a woman. Not because of anything else. No, because you're a woman. That's the wrong reason to pick your strategic partner. The wrong reason. Okay? So again, I want you to think of, remember, you're trying to create a win-win connection. It's mutually beneficial is what a win-win connection means. Okay? So I hope you love that little exercise there. Let's continue on. Skill number 3, speak up. Don't be afraid to share your knowledge, ideas, or even ask questions. I want you to know there is power when you speak up. There is power when you speak up. But speak up at the right time. I don't want you to speak up when you first get through the door and you're taking your temperature, because that's required. That's the new safety protocol. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. That's the wrong time to speak up. Why? Because you speaking up is not going to change management's decision to take those thermometers out the room. They're not going to change. That they've already made a decision. Here's an example. I remember years ago, I was in corporate, 20 plus years in corporate finance. And I was a member of management. And I remember when we went to being paid semi-monthly. And they told management first. They sent out emails to the entire organization. It was going to be a 3-month phase-in. And we had to then, as management, go to our departments and just kind of let them, did you see the email? Are there any questions? Because there's any questions. That was it. And I remember one of my team members was so passionately upset that we were going from bi-weekly to semi-monthly. And I said this to her. I said, since you're so passionate about what you're saying, then go to my boss. And what I was saying to her, in a nutshell, I wanted to say to her is that you being passionate and speaking up, I commend you speaking up. I did come in the room and say, are there any concerns? And you voiced your concerns. But can I tell you something? No matter what anyone said, management had already given significant thought into why they were going to a semi-monthly payroll. Already. They already weighed the objections. They already did the cost-benefit analysis. It was a done deal. And so really my job was to go in there and just make sure that that news did not disrupt the productivity. That's really what it was. It really wasn't what are your concerns, because you can have all the concerns you want. It's not going to make them change the decision to go to paying their employees semi-monthly. So you have to know when to speak up. I want you to speak up when it's to make a difference in everyone that's going to be in the room. When it's not just going to benefit you, but it's going to benefit others. That's why I want you to speak up, okay? But I don't want you to sit in a meeting any longer and you don't say something. Be a contributing member in the conversation. So if you're invited to a meeting, they should hear your voice, but make sure it is something that's mutually beneficial. Don't just say something. Don't just ask questions, just be asking questions to be difficult. You don't want to be a difficult employee. You want people to see you as an asset. Like, man, let's bring her in here. She has wonderful insight. Let's bring him in here. He has wonderful insight. Because management aren't the only ones that have the answers. You have the answers as well if you're in a non-management position. But if you don't speak up, they won't be able to hear your wonderful brilliance. Okay? So, oops, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Let me click off of that. There we go. Our exercise time. Here's the exercise. In your next meeting, look for ways that you can speak up to add value to everyone in the meeting. Remember to position yourself as an asset every day. That's your new challenge, to position yourself as an asset every single day, okay? Number 4, flexibility, willingness to change. It sounds similar to adaptability, but I want you to have a flexibility about yourself. Be flexible. So remember I said how sometimes people used to look at their workstation, their private domain. This is my personal domain. Don't touch it. They would decorate their little, areas with their little trinkets. Well, you may come into the company now where they say you cannot put up your family pictures. You cannot put up your little trinkets. Why? Because your workstation may change on a daily basis. So today you're sitting over here in the left and tomorrow you're sitting over here in the right. You must be flexible. Have flexibility. I'm willing to change. Okay, no problem. You may be on a different floor. You may have to, they may implement where midday they come through and do cleaning. So you have your lunch break, but then they're providing 15 minutes for people to, do something different so that they can come in and just sanitize the area. You have to be flexible. I was in the middle of a project. I don't have time for this. Flexibility, willingness to change. Okay? That's important. Here's our exercise. Are you ready for the exercise? Here we go. Look for a way to change how you show up at the office. Be intentional and memorable. Remember, we're talking about you having success. That's what we're talking about. You having success. And I want you to be successful. And so that's what it's all about. How can you be successful? That's why I say here, be intentional and be memorable. When I go to a networking event, can I tell you one of my secrets? When I go to a networking event where I'm building connections with like-minded people who may be in a different industry than myself, but we can be mutually beneficial to each other, I always wear some type of brooch, or I'll wear something that makes me stand out. I'm not trying to fit in with everybody else. I want to be memorable. I know the conversation is going to be intentional. It's going to be of value to the person, but I also want them to remember me all the time. That's why I do something that's going to be memorable. And I want to share that nugget with you, right? All right, here we go. Oh, wait a minute. My screen went to a different one. Give me a second here. And there we go. All right, no problem. And so things are going to happen. I learn how to just adapt and keep it moving, right? Here is skill number 5, self-confidence. A feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. Read that again. Self-confidence. A feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. You have to be a person that knows how to come back on the main screen. You have to be a person that has, and today you have to have self-confidence. Oh, is it crucial? It's essential for you. That's why I gave you these 5 essential skills. You have to have self-confidence in yourself. You're going to be around people. Remember, you're going to be speaking up. You're going to be around people who are also trying to be an asset and to make a difference in the company as well. So you cannot think that you're the only star in the room. No, you're going to surround yourself with other people who are contributing to the success of the company, not just the department, the success of the company. And that's what's going to be important. That's why you can't be intimidated by somebody else's skills, somebody else's contribution, because you value yourself. You know that you bring value to the table. And so that's why I want you to remember, self-confidence is so crucial. You can have adaptability. You can have flexibility. You can have an open mind. You can have all of those different skills. But if you do not have self-confidence, it's going to knock out the other 4 down, because you're going to need to know how to be, you want to be successful when you go back to the workplace. You want to be successful every day that you come in there. You don't want to be a person that's moaning and complaining and always looking for the negative. Nobody needs to hear that. Nobody wants that. And you don't want to be remembered as that's the complainer. I want people to have a positive memory about you, not a negative memory about you. I don't want you to be uninvited. Now, you know you can get uninvited to meetings. Well, why is she here? Why is he here? They're not even contributing to the conversation. Why is he here? Why is she here? They're always negative. Why is she here? And why is he here? They're always having something to complain. Who wants to be in a meeting for 30 minutes, an hour, maybe plus more than an hour, and they have that negative energy in the room? I don't care how good you are. Nobody wants that. And now companies are really saying, listen, we're willing to pay for the best. We're willing to provide the resources, but we want the right caliber of people around us, around the organization. So you have to make sure that you're the person that they want to have around them. That's why I wanted to share these 5 skills with you, because it's very important that you understand what to expect in this new era of business. And I know some people are thinking, well, companies need employees. Yes, they do, but they're not allowing employees to hold them hostage. It's a different era of business. And what they tolerated before, they're not tolerating anymore. They're not. And most companies say, not most, but some people are saying, well, the employees are dictating everything. No, they're not. Leadership is dictating, and they're setting the ground rules. That's why some companies are saying, guess what? It is required, it is mandatory that you get vaccinated. They're not leaving the option to the employee. And they're willing to lose some of their key employees from management all the way down. So that's why I wanted you to be able to understand what's taking place. So these are the 5 skills needed for you to return back to the workplace successfully. And I just wanted you to know that. So here's the exercise for this one. Seek ways that you can, I'm going to turn my screen back. I got so excited there. I want you to seek ways you can assist your manager with a problem. When your manager accepts, be confident in your ability to work alongside your manager. Never show your inability or fear. That's important. Never show your inability or fear. Why do I say that? You finally have your bright idea. You present your idea. You help your manager with that problem. And your manager said, you know what? I accept it. I like it. Let's run with it. Now you're afraid. What if I fail? You didn't go that distance to fail. You went there to what? Present. This is part of your speaking up. Now you're being a contributing member. You're not coming with a problem. You're coming to solve a problem. And even if you don't get paid extra money, but just having the experience under your belt, it gives you a conversation to have if you're talking to a company that may want to employ you. And they say, well, how have you made a difference in your company? You can share this example. My manager had a problem, and I initiated by going to my manager and said, how can I help you? And my manager liked my idea. And this is how I implemented that idea alongside with my manager. That's a good conversation piece. Who doesn't want people to take initiative on the job? That's awesome. That's an awesome skill to have. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. That is absolutely amazing. Yes, I want you to initiate, definitely. So let's recap here. And I want to recap the 5 essential skills needed to succeed in the new workplace. 1, open mind. 2, adaptability. 3, speak up. 4, flexibility. And 5, self-confidence. That is what you're going to need. So I want you to think about this. 2 employees go to work. 1 is there for a paycheck. The other is there because of their why. Their why is to make a difference. What is your reason? What is your reason for returning back? Let me go back here. It's my screen did that again. What is your reason for you returning back to why? Are you coming back to make a difference, or are you coming back for a paycheck? Are you coming to be an asset, or are you coming to be a liability? And so I want you to be successful, not because you're a woman. I want you to be a success because you're a person. And I want you to apply these 5 skills. I want you to have an open mind. I want you to have adaptability. I want you to speak up. I want you to have flexibility. But above all, I want you to have self-confidence that you can do the job. You got this. Even if it's a new way of doing business, you can handle it. If it's a new computer system, you can do it. Get the training that you need. If it's a new manager that you're going to be under, get to know your manager. Get to know what their expectations are. Have a conversation. Don't go by office gossip. Don't go by the rumor mill. No, get to know that person for yourself. Well, what if it turned out that they're mean and nasty? That's their behavior. That's not yours. You're there to make your manager look good. And I know that's a tall pill to swallow, but you are. When everyone in the organization is doing their job beyond the best of their ability, but they're putting in 100%, the company beams. The company is in lights. Why? We all work together as one cylinder. Remember, you're there to make a difference in the company, a positive difference. You're there to be an asset. So use these 5 skills so that they can better you. Use these 5 skills so they can better you. Whether you are a man or a woman, or whatever pronoun you want to use, doesn't matter. I don't want you to use these 5 skills because the 5 skills will help you deliver quality work. The 5 skills will help you to be a results-oriented person. The 5 skills will help you to stand out and to be noticed. And when you get noticed, don't shrink back. That's why the 5th one, save that one for last, self-confidence. Okay? I want you to be able to have that. I hope that you are enjoying today's webinar. We have been sharing some wonderful nuggets with you. So I want to give you some next steps to help move you forward in doing this. And so here are the next steps. Attend a workshop. We have a workshop coming up called the Be You, Do You, Live You workshop experience. It's phenomenal. And all information is at our website, www.danamwoods.com. Then the next one is purchase my new book, Self-Discovery 33. If you struggle with what you want, your identity, you struggle with your insecurities, you're envious of people, don't know how to engage properly with people, my new book, Self-Discovery 33, will help you. And then the third thing, sign up for mentorship. I have a women's mentorship program that's going to help you be able to enforce these skills and more skills as well for you to be successful, not just in the workplace, but in all of your relationships. So that's the Simplified Girl Mentorship Program. And then join our community, share your stories and your insights. We can learn from one another. And I want you to know that you can learn not just from me, but from the entire community. For more information, visit us at www.danamwoods.com for more information there. And I want you to know that you can contact us, follow us on Instagram, and our information is right there, our number, our email address, as well as our website again. And then you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And there's my handle right there at Dana Michelle Woods, INTL. And then we have, look, we're doing something new here. You can also scan the QR code for more information. We have some powerful free resources for you when you scan the QR code there. And listen, I want you to share this webinar with other people, and so that they can be able to adopt these 5 skills to them, to their workplace. That's going to be really important. And then finally, I want to invite you to one of our events coming up. That's the Be You, Do You, Live You experience, a time of self-reflection and growth. And so that's going to be extremely exciting there. And I know that that's going to be something that we're going to love for you to attend. The event is January the 25th. The screen says there January the 4th, but it's January 25th. We're offering this workshop throughout the year. And so if you can't make the January 25th event, please make sure you come to one of our other events as well, so that we can make sure that you are staying informed, that you're continue to develop your personal soft skills. You continue to develop your professional skills as well. And that's why we love doing what we do. And so it has been my honor and my privilege to serve you today, serve you this webinar called The 5 Skills Women Need to Return Back to the Workplace Successfully. I'm Dana Michelle Woods, and have a wonderful day.